What's up, family? Welcome back. Wanted to talk to you today about bulking. It's funny, I've always referred to it as bulking, putting on mass, all that. My coach refuses to call that. He calls it improvement season, which is, clearly the more concise term. Bulking equivocates like putting on a bunch of weight, when the goal is not necessarily to put on a bunch of weight. It is to add muscle tissue, which does come in the form of weight. But let's look at the reality of the situation. If you're an intermediate or advanced lifter, meaning you've been lifting for 5 to 10 years straight without any breaks, you pretty much plateaued in your gains. Not to mean that you can't gain anymore. I'm not even insinuating that. But what I mean to say is, the reality is, no matter what you do, you are not likely to put on 15 or 20 pounds in an improvement or a bulking season of lean tissue. No matter your genetics, even if you're taking a bunch of PEDs, chances are you're not putting on 15 to 20 pounds in an improvement season, or bulking season, or whatever, of tissue. Can you put that on a weight? Absolutely. Enough donuts, you can put on any amount of weight. And I'm not saying that people's bulking is all donuts or anything like that. I just mean to say that, the reality is to put a little bit more realistic goal in mind, maybe 5 to 7 pounds. Sure, maybe you'll gain 10, maybe you'll gain 3. The point is a more realistic idea in your head of what you stand to gain in an improvement season. So if you're only gonna gain maybe 5 to 7 pounds of lean muscle tissue, you don't need to put on 40 or 50 pounds in order to get there. So, yes, in order to gain muscle, you are going to gain weight, i.e. you need to be in a surplus, but that doesn't mean you need to be in some kind of 500 to, 1,000 calorie a day surplus, or I can eat cheat meals with impunity, You want to keep insulin sensitivity high. You want to, to continue to eat lean, healthy, whole foods as much as possible. The foods that I eat in off season are the same ones that I eat in prep. Just reduced. The list gets reduced some. So it does grow in improvement season, or what people call bulking season. Sure, I'm adding in a little more healthy fats. I'm adding in a few more protein sources, quite a bit more carbohydrates. So there comes with that a little bit of variety. But it doesn't mean that I'm smashing pizza every Friday night or having, cheeseburgers. Does that mean you can never ever eat a meal for the rest of your life? Absolutely not. I'm not even saying that. But it's just me, myself, I don't have weekly cheat meals or even every other week cheat meals. I don't even have cheat meals myself personally. I just have what I call concession meals. If I'm gonna go out and eat sushi, then I might reduce my calorie intake on a couple of my other meals. I might even do some cardio that morning so that I'm still within my calorie budget for the day. I just made a concession somewhere else in order to eat what I want. I don't really have a big thing for cheeseburgers and all that. I'm not saying anything's wrong with one, but it's been years since I've eaten a greasy, fast food cheeseburger. So, I don't usually make concessions for those. But if that's what I wanted, that's what I would do. I would reduce calories on a couple of other meals, and I would do some cardio that morning, and I would have the cheeseburger. I make concessions for things like, tacos, sushi, things like that. The point is that bulking's not all about putting on a bunch of weight on the scale. You can be in a 200 calorie a day surplus, and that's like, what is that? 2 pounds a month. You know, meaning in the course of 4 months, you gain about 10 pounds, 8 pounds, what have you. So you gain about 8 pounds in 4 months. So even if your improvement season was say 5 months and you gain 10 pounds, if half of it was muscle and half of it was fat, that'd be great. So, you know, 200, 250, maybe even 300 calorie a day surplus would be plenty enough to get your 5 pounds of lean tissue along with the fat that's gonna come along with it. Now, don't get me wrong, as you're eating these things and higher sodium and everything else, and maybe doing a little bit less cardio, you know, you may end up putting on a few more pounds than that, you know, on the scale, because all weight isn't fat and muscle. There's a ton of like water weight, inflammation, everything else that comes along with, you know, lifting. But what I'm saying is you probably put on about that much adipose tissue and that much lean muscle mass. So be less focused on just gaining weight and smashing copious amounts of food. High, intense workouts, good, clean, nutritional, whole foods as much as possible, staying in a controlled calorie surplus without going overboard, and good, intense training with lots of rest, and you'll gain the muscle. So let me know if there's anything else I can do, if you have any questions, if there's anything I can do to help. Love you guys. See you soon.